Everybody, welcome to Inspiring to Inspire, new episode with Miss Pinique Singleton. Miss Singleton, let everybody
Okay.
know what exactly do you do?
All right. So, hello, everybody. My name is Pinique. Like he said, you don't really have to worry about the last name because you're not going to find too many Piniques. So, just remember Pinique. Um, Even when you're going to look me up on social media, once you type in Pinique, I mean, you probably don't even have to type in my last name. You can, but you probably going to pull, it's probably going to pull me right up. But anyway, so my name is Pinique. I am a videographer. So, I help business owners and entrepreneurs create content that is going to allow them to leverage their social media to gain clients and grow and scale their businesses. I also teach shooters camp. That is a class that my business partner and I, Brandon shot me. Me and him teach, that's his Instagram. Me and him teach that together, and we help people to learn how to use their cameras and learn the business behind the camera so they can also create a business using their camera and get paid without having to work for someone else. And then, last but not least, me and Brandon also have a brand called Being an Entrepreneurship is Dope. So, like, I'm actually wearing one of the shirts now. We have a website where we sell the t-shirts and the hoodies. So, yeah, so that's about it. I don't do too much, just a little something.
Okay. That's good. That's good. That's a lot. So videographer, tell us a little bit about that and how did you get started?
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna try to give you the short version. I know this podcast. I don't know how long this podcast is, but I know I don't. I don't want to make it too long. But um, as I was talking to one of my friends about the other day, the story is important, so I don't want to leave out too many details. It might help somebody.
Okay.
So first I wanted to. So at first I thought I wanted to be a speaker, right? Like thought I wanted to be like a motivational speaker. So I had actually come down to Atlanta. I was doing motivational stuff on Facebook, doing Facebook lives like every day, right? I had this show called
Mm.
If You Woke Up, You're Winning. It was just a Facebook live I would do in my car in the mornings before going into work. And I would just kind of try to motivate and inspire people. And, I helped to gain more followers and stuff on Facebook with that. So anyway, thought I wanted to be a speaker. So I took this class. There's this entrepreneur named David Shands. He's located here in Atlanta. And he was doing a class called Art of Articulation. So I was like, boom, that's going to help me with my speaking. I'm going to take the class, paid the money, came down to Atlanta. But when I met David, we were talking and he was asking me, he was like, so you said you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to quit your job, right? I said, yeah. He was like, so what's going to get you to quit your job? And I was like, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a speaker and everything. He was like, yeah, but he was like, for real, like what's something that you see like quitting your job like within the next year maybe? And I didn't know. So he
Right.
told me go online and look up job or like I think he said businesses that you could start for under $1,000. So when I came back the next
Mm.
day, it was like a 2-day workshop. Came back the next day and I was like, how about photography? And then he was like, I could see you doing that. So he was like, I'm going to link you with my videographer. And that was Brandon. Like I said, Brandon's Instagram is Brandon Shot Me, his Instagram and Facebook. So he linked me with Brandon and we got on the phone and Brandon told me what camera to get. So I got the camera and the lens that he told me. And my mom actually bought it for me because my mom was like, I told my mom about it and she's super supportive. And at that time, I had been doing all type of random stuff. I was doing my network marketing, all kinds of weird stuff. So I know at this point, she's like, okay, but she still was supporting. So she bought the camera. Amazon brought the camera like in 3 days. And I called Brandon back. Got my
Mm.
camera now. What I do? So then Brandon was like, all right, let's get on a Zoom call and I'm going to teach you camera basics. So he basically taught me what I needed to know to get started. And then he said, take pictures every day. I'm like, every day? Like every day. He was like, yes, every day. So I'm like, of what? I live by myself. Who am I take pictures of? He said, I don't care what you take pictures of. So I started taking pictures every day. And then I found out about a class that he was teaching called Shooters Camp. And I really wanted to learn how to do
Mm.
videos because I saw Brandon always doing videos. I didn't really see him taking a lot of photos. And I wanted to learn that. So I signed up for his class. I paid for it. Again, actually, my mom paid for it. This was around December. So that was my Christmas gift. So she paid for the class. Class started in February. I took the class. And it was a 7-week program, 6 weeks online, 2 days in person. So after the 2 days in person, that was in March, we graduated. And then David Shands, again, he was having a conference here in Atlanta called Social Proof. So I had bought a ticket for Social Proof because it was like a conference with a bunch of entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be
Mm.
beneficial because I definitely believe in investing in myself. So, but when I got down here to Atlanta for the conference, because I was living in North Carolina at the time, so I came down for the conference and Brandon was like, oh, I'm shooting. Do you want to shoot? I said, of course. Like, that'll be some experience. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And so I shot with Brandon. I'm running around doing all kinds of stuff. But it was great hands-on experience. So did that. And then Brandon, I met a lot of people. I met a lot of entrepreneurs. And people were like, oh, are you in this area? I'm looking for a videographer. I was like, no, I'm in North Carolina. So Brandon was like, see, I told you it's a lot of clients here. You might as well move here. I'm like, Brandon, I can't just move like that. I can't just up and move. So anyways, the conference was April 4th and 5th. So April 6th, I get back home and I called Brandon. I said, hey, I'm going to move to Atlanta. And I don't think he believed me, but I said, I'm moving to Atlanta. And so April 27th, I packed everything up. One of my mom's friends actually lived here. So I didn't just like buy a house or anything right away. She lived here and she said, you can stay with me until you figure out what area of Atlanta you want to live in and all that. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I packed up everything on April the 27th and moved everything down here, put it in storage. And took a few things over to her house where I was going to be staying. And so went back home. I had some things I had to wrap up in North Carolina. I quit my job. I was working for Wells Fargo. I was a consumer loan underwriter, so super boring. Sitting in a cubicle every day looking at loan docs. So I quit. May 10th was my last day at Wells Fargo. This is all in 2019. So May 10th was my last day at Wells Fargo. May 19th is when I came to Atlanta. That was a Sunday. And I remember Brandon calling me on Saturday. He said, what are you doing Monday? I said, I'm unpacking. He said, no, you got a client. So he linked me up with a client. So on Monday, I literally hit the ground running. Monday after I got here, I was working. And I just been working ever since. So yeah, that's it. And then
that's good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
no, go ahead. I want you to.
I was gonna say, and so then also since then I started teaching Students Camp with Brandon because so when I was in class, that was the very first class, the one that I took with him. He had just started the program. So the second quarter, so he was doing it on a quarterly basis. So second quarter, he had mentioned when we were in Atlanta for the in-person part, he mentioned, hey, maybe some of you guys can teach a class going forward. Now you can't tell me nothing like that because I'm gonna hold you to it. So when he was starting the second class, I was like, I called them and I said, hey, can I still teach on Monday when you start the class? And he was like, oh, you want to do that? I said, yeah, of course. He was like, all right, cool. So he gave me the opportunity to teach the class. And so then every week I just kept logging on to the Zoom calls. And then eventually after, I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks in, I just, in my bio on Instagram, I put like, Shooters Camp Instructor. So I didn't really ask him or nothing. I just put it in there. So he's always joking. He's like, man, she just came and never left. So, but I'm that kind of person. Like if I want to do something, I'm just going to do it. So now we're business partners.
Ambitious.
Yeah. So we teach the class together.
And I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
So in 4 months, from December to April, you never did photography before that, right?
Well, I never did video. I was taking pictures. So I got my camera in August and I was just taking photos. So August of 2019. Right. And so up until December, I had only taken some photos up until December. So then when class started actually, or I guess up until January. So then class started in February and that's when I actually learned video. And video is actually the 4th week of class. So really it was like, like almost the end of February is when I learned video. I didn't even know how to put my camera on the video setting. I only knew how to do pictures. So it was pretty quick.
So 4 months, you got up, you quit your job, moved from North Carolina to Atlanta, partnered up with your mentor, and started your own business.
That's it.
What better story is that? What better story is that?
Yeah.
Like, think about it. That's important, and it's empowering to say. Prior to 2019, you didn't even consider yourself a photographer. You were just taking pictures, probably with your phone, basic.
Yeah.
You learn how to, and you wanted to be an entrepreneur so bad that you said, I'm gonna do something, but you didn't know what it was. And then you said, well, I'm just gonna try this picture thing, and then you stuck to it, and you invested in yourself, which is very important. Yeah. And you took it and you ran with it. And now look at you now. 2 years later, look at you. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
That shows a lot of ambition. So with so I'm taking it to videography. You love that. That's your thing now. And I see that y'all scaled it from just doing videos to coaching to your own merch line. But I know you do a lot of videos with just professional videos, no like birthday parties and things of that nature, right? Yeah. So you do a lot of big companies and things and influencers and stars and whatever, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Tell me some of the best shoots you had, or some shoots that you thought were surprising to you, that you didn't expect this person to call you.
Well, I don't know. I don't really know if there's anything like surprising, like I didn't expect, because I definitely am one of those people that I definitely think anything is possible, and I'm definitely confident in my work. So if somebody calls me, I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's this person. Like I'm just pretty cool. People are people. So, but I have worked with some dope influencers and stuff, and I'm not really, I mean, you know, like, if you're an entrepreneur, you probably know these people. If not, you may not. But I've worked with E.T., the hip hop preacher, Eric Thomas. I don't know if y'all have heard of him. David Shands, Marquell Russell. These are like entrepreneurs. And then also other influencers like Him 500 CEO Maddie J. We did something with a bunch of influencers, like B. Simone was there and some other people. We were like on a yacht. We were down in Florida. That's probably one of the videos a lot of people, they be like, oh my God, y'all was out there with all those influencers, B. Simone and them. But I'm just like, it's just a job. Like, for real, it looked cool, but I done sweated my edges out. I had to get my hair done when I got back home. Like, it was just a lot happening. It wasn't as fun as it looked, but we definitely gonna make it look dope on Instagram. And I think that brings me to, you ain't really asked me about this, but I think a lot of people aren't successful because they see the stuff that looks cool and they want to do that, but they don't see the work and stuff that we have to do behind the scenes. And when they find out they have to do some work for real, that's where the problem comes in. They don't really want to do all that. So I tell my students all the time.
That was our next topic to go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I tell my students.
That was the next thing we was going to go into.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you go into it then. And then
Yeah, that was the next thing we was going to go into, the hard work that goes behind the growth and some of the things you had to go to. Because everybody sees the finished product. Everybody sees, oh, she's an entrepreneur. She live a great life. You know, she can do what she wants. But I know there's a lot of hard work that goes into it, a lot of stress, a lot of stressful nights, a lot of sleepless nights. So tell the people about that.
Okay.
What motivates you to get through those days?
All right, that's a good question. So, but yeah, like it is a lot of work, but then also I believe in work smarter, not harder. So I do have a lot of things in place that help me as far as like I have virtual assistant and some other stuff. But for people first getting started, I don't want you to think, oh, you got to have an assistant and all this stuff, because when I started, I didn't. So I think the biggest thing was just, you know, like you said, there are some nights you're going to stay up late. But then again, I don't mind staying up late because most of the time I don't have to get up early. Like today, like last night, I had to set my alarm clock because I knew I had to get on here with you. But for the most time I go to bed, I don't set an alarm clock. I just wake up when I wake up, which normally is about 8 o'clock anyway, but regardless. So yeah, there are some challenges, but also I think a lot of people think it has to be hard. If you're not struggling or if it's not hard, then you're not doing it right. But that's not true, because I was very fortunate when I linked up with Brandon. Brandon helped me. He's been doing it for 10 years. So since he was doing it for 10 years and since he made a ton of mistakes and everything, I didn't have to, they shortened the learning curve for me. So I think the important thing is investing in yourself, getting the right mentors, getting the right coaches. But it's not just about getting a coach or getting a mentor. It's about actually listening to what they tell you to do and actually doing it, you know, trusting that it's going to work. Because, I mean, let's just face it, they've done what you want to do. So I don't really understand people that don't get a mentor and they want to do stuff their way. Like, if you want to do it your way, why'd you even get a coach or whatever? Just
that's right.
Grown, do what you want.
That's true. That's true. And I think that's a big problem with people that stop successes, because they don't have they don't learn from other people's mistakes. And that's important in business. You have to learn. If someone else already made the mistake, you should know to speak to them and see where they went wrong, so you don't make that same mistake. You know, that was real big too. And you're very ambitious, and it seems like you know how to be the pupil as well as the teacher. And that's important too.
For sure.
That's important. So tell us a little more about you personally. Like, what's Pinique Singleton? Who is she?
Oh, now see, that's a tough question. I can easily talk about the business stuff because that's like everything. I mean, I don't know. So I'm from North Carolina. I grew up in North Carolina. Moved to Atlanta recently. So I was in North Carolina pretty much my whole life. My dad was in the military, so we did live in Germany for a little while. Back when I was young, though, like kindergarten, first grade, second grade type of thing. So that's ages ago. So for the most part, I've been in North Carolina. I was working, like I said, for Wells Fargo. A fun fact, I worked for Foot Locker for 19 years. When I tell a lot of people that, they be like, how old are you, girl? Like 19 years. But I'll answer that. Another fun fact, really? I'll be 40 this year. A lot of people think I look a lot younger, I appreciate that. But I'll be 40 in May. I'm actually planning a 40th birthday party for me and my mom, because my mom's gonna be 60 and I'm gonna be 40, 5 days apart. So it's like milestones for both of us. So I'm planning a party here in Atlanta.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I mean, I'm just pretty cool. I mean, I like I said, I love what I do as far as business, you know, photography, videography. I love helping people, you know, like we had our first day of class this week for Shooters Camp, and just hearing all the students' feedback saying, you know, I've never heard it taught that way. I really learned something. That I love that kind of stuff. But when I'm not working, I just like having fun, you know, going out to eat, hanging out. I like traveling. So last year with the pandemic, you know, that kind of messed me up on traveling. But I love to see new places. That's probably one of my favorite things to do is to travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason why I ask is because being an entrepreneur, sometimes your childhood, you can see it in them, you know? What made you decide, and when did you decide? I want to do my own thing. I want to go on my own. Like, what was your turning point, and what sparked that seed in your brain?
So let's see. So back in 2015, one of my friends, he started getting into network marketing. And, you know, he was trying to bring me in. And, you know, I had always heard like negative stuff about that. Like, don't do one of those. Don't join that stuff. But he was like, just have a meeting. Let me tell you about the company. So he told me about it. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll give it a try. And so later on, I did realize that's not for me because I wanted to build my own. Like, I want to leave my own legacy. And even in network marketing, they say, oh, well, you're an entrepreneur, you're an independent business owner. Not really. You're a distributor for that company. Nothing against people that do network marketing. But for me, I wanted my own something. You know, it's not, I'm selling the products that you created. So anyway, but when I got into network marketing, I started meeting a lot of people that were talking about mindset and, you know, recommended different books about getting your mind right, different speakers like Les Brown and Jim Rohn. And I'm looking, you know, watching these YouTube videos. And so I'm starting to change my mindset. And so when I'm looking at these people, you know, like the Jim Rohns and the Les Browns, and I'm watching these YouTube videos and I'm reading a couple different books, How to Win Friends and Influence People, How to Influence, whatever that book is, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I think it was called. And some of those other books, I start to realize that, I could do this. And then I start following people on social media that I was seeing do stuff, different influencers that I've since worked with, you know, different people I've seen online. I'm like, oh, wow, they did that. And I'm listening to their stories. And when they're saying, well, I started just with this, you know, like David Shands, he's a big inspiration for me because he has a clothing brand called Sleepers for Suckers. And he talked about how he used to work at the Cheesecake Factory, but then he started his clothing brand. And he started out by his goal was just to make $100 a day on his off days selling shirts. And, you know, he built the business from there. He has a very successful podcast. He has built the Sleepers for Suckers brand, you know, multiple 6 figures, maybe 7 figures with that brand. I think maybe. But regardless, so I'm seeing these people and then I'm like, I can do that. So to answer your question, it wasn't until I really saw other people doing it, but then it really was meeting those people in real life. Because I think sometimes we see people on Instagram or even on YouTube and it's like, okay, but that's them. And you seem like you're so far away from them. But when I start like investing in myself, going to these conferences and actually shaking hands with these people, hugging these people and meeting them, I'm like, yo, these just regular people. So if they can do it, I can do it. So that's what really helped me. That's why I think it's important that if people do want to pursue entrepreneurship or whatever it is they want to pursue, I think it's super important for them to do it, not only for themselves, but for the people that they're going to inspire. Because some people, if they don't have somebody that they know that they're connected to doing something, it might seem like it's impossible. It might seem too far out of their grasp.
Right. And that's something I've done in the past many times. Just go to conferences. I'm not even talking about things I don't even know nothing about, but just to be around that energy, just to meet certain, you know, different people. Because you never know what you'll pick up. And like you said, sometimes we look at people from afar and we think they're inhuman. But when you get up on, you're like, oh, he's regular. He's just like me. Yeah. And you have a good conversation with them. You become friends with them. And it does inspire you to do more because y'all tend to trade stories and they help you, you help them. So I've met some great people doing that where times where I'm like, I would have never met this person if I never went to this event. And the event probably wasn't the best thing for me. But I did, as long as I leave out with a relationship, I think it was worth every dime of it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So getting up, moving to Atlanta, that's a big step. You had no quarrels about what you scared, was it?
No, I mean, a lot of people.
North Carolina.
No, it wasn't even that. you know, so I have a nephew. My mom's in North Carolina and my nephew's in North Carolina. My nephew he's about to turn 20 now, but my dad passed away back in 2012 and he had custody of my nephew. Thank you. So he had custody of my nephew. So my nephew, his name is Alex. So when Alex was like 10 years old, he started living with my mom after my dad passed away, because both of his parents, that's just a whole nother story. We ain't even gonna get on my brother and his mom. Right. We're not gonna talk about it. But so he was with my dad. So he went to stay with my mom. And so I always told my mom, I will not move, which I wasn't in a hurry to get out of North Carolina, but I told her I'll stay here until Alex is a senior in high school or graduates from high school, so I can help, because he was into basketball and all this stuff. So we taking him to practices and AAU, and it was a lot. And I didn't want to put all that on my mom, because I mean, Alex is not my child or my mom's child, so I wanted to help her. Right. So I told her I'll stay here until he gets to where he needs to be, where you're not doing a whole bunch of stuff for him. So actually, when I moved, he was a senior. So his senior year is when I moved to Atlanta, because at this point he's driving and he wasn't even doing basketball anymore. And, so we good. So basically, I didn't have anything holding me in North Carolina. So it wasn't like, oh, I got to get out of here. But I saw the opportunities in Atlanta. And I said, well, that's where the money is. That's where the opportunities are. That's where I'm going to go. And since I didn't have any kids of my own, or I didn't have to help with Alex anymore, and my mom, she cool, she grown, right? So she good. So I was like, yo, I'm just gonna go where the money is. And I wasn't scared, because, one thing is I could always. So some people ask me, was I scared when I quit the job? No, because for one, that job was boring. Those people were getting on my nerves. When I tell you, I was trying my best to get fired, but they wouldn't fire me. Like, I wasn't doing nothing crazy. Like, I was coming to work on time and stuff, but like, we had these goals and stuff that we had to reach. And, sometimes you get them, sometimes you didn't. It was just a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. And so at a point, I didn't care too much anymore. Like I said, I never did a mediocre job on my work. I did my best on my work, but I still wasn't always hitting the goals. And so I just remember being in a meeting with my manager, and I'm like, yeah, fam, this is good as it's going to get. So do you want to go ahead and fire me, or how you want to handle this? Because this is where I'm at. So, but they would not fire me. Like, it was weird. So I was ready to get up out of there. So when I saw the opportunities here in Atlanta, I said, I'm just going to move. And I said, and if it doesn't work, the cool thing is I've gotten a job before, so I can get a job again if I have to. Or I can drive Uber or DoorDash, or there's so many ways I can make money. So I really wasn't worried about it. I was like, let's just go and see what happens. Because I already know what's going to happen if I stay here. I'm just going to keep hating life, keep trying to get fired. They ain't going to fire me. Like, I'm just wasted time at this point. I wasn't getting any younger. So I was like, because I was, 38 when I left? So, yeah, man.
Really? Yeah. And, it's funny, because most people, the way you think about a job, most people will not think about it that way. They will hold on to that job. Even though they hate it, they will hold on to it until that job kicks them out. And, it's a different mindset to say, I'm not going to starve. I know I'm not going to starve. I'll figure this thing out one way or another. That's a different mindset that everybody don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with the school, the classes y'all have, how many people from your class actually doing what you're doing now?
That's a good question. And I always tell people, so I do all the sales calls for the class too. So when people are interested, they get on the phone with me. And but I'm not a real salesy person. I'm just going to tell you what we have to offer, and then I'm going to let you make a decision. But I straight up tell people, though, because some people do ask me, well, how many other students have been successful, or some people kind of know about my story and they'll ask me about that. And I tell them, I said, most of y'all ain't going to make it. I'm going to be honest with you, because most people don't want to do the work. Like I said earlier, they see it looks cool. I'm very straightforward, as you could tell. So matter of fact, on the first day of class, Brandon always tells them, so Pinique is a little bit savage. So I hope you're not sensitive, because this ain't gonna be a class for you. But seriously, I love the students and everything. But yeah, I'm definitely very straightforward. I don't sugarcoat anything. And I tell people, most of y'all ain't gonna make it, because most of y'all not gonna want to do the work. Like, you can pay for the class. We're going to give you all the information you need. Y'all going to get all the information I got and more. But the problem is, some of y'all aren't going to want to do the work. So that's why it's, you know what I mean? So we've helped over 100 students that have come through the program. But I can probably think, like, right off the top of my head, of maybe like 20 people that's really working, making money. Like, I mean, we got some people that's really killing it. I mean, I can think of several people that's, quit their jobs and they're making more money than they were making on their jobs on a monthly basis after taking our class. But then I can also think of some people I ain't heard from since the class. I don't even know they still got a camera at this point. I don't know what they're doing. So
well, the class that you took.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm talking about the class that you took back in 2019. How many people from your class actually made it, like excel?
Let me see. I don't want to be calling people names, but let me see. I'll say, including me, it was only 12 of us in that class. Because that's another thing too. We keep it kind of small because we do want to make sure we help everybody. So most of the classes are between 15 to 20 people. And so that very first time it was 12 of us. And so including myself, I can think of 3 people. So me and 2 other people that's like killing it. Like they not working a job. They're making, I can think of 3 out of the 12.
Wow. And you just took over. Now you're teaching the class and you run the business.
Yeah, and like Brandon doesn't even.
No, I said, I bet you they're sitting back looking like, I knew she was going to do that.
I don't know about that, because I mean, when I was in there, I was doing my thing, but I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, now it's to the point where we have 6 weeks online, and so for the Monday night classes when we teach skills like shooting and editing, Thursdays is business. But on Monday nights, Brandon only teaches 1 class now. Like he teaches week 6, so I teach weeks 1, 2, 4, and 5, and then we have another guy that does week 3, and Brandon does week 6. So now I'm the one that teaches the class. So I mean, he does all the business, most of the business stuff. I only do one of the business calls.
Right. But it's good to have that ambition that, like I said, to just go in and take over with no fear. Right. So, and I think it's always good for when someone's your mentor to be your partner. That shows growth and shows the trust that he has in you. So kudos to Brandon for having that trust in you.
Yeah.
So tell us about the clothing line.
All right, so like I said, David Shands was one of the people that really inspired my entrepreneurship journey, and he had a clothing line. So I always wanted a clothing line, and I had another friend that had a clothing line as well. So I was like, yo, that's dope. You know, they're selling shirts with a good message, whatever. So I actually had started another clothing line before this, but it just didn't really grow. It didn't really do what I wanted it to do. And so I actually, when I first came up with this, I was trying to think of a new shirt to release under that brand. So like the first few shirts actually had the logo for that brand, like on the sleeve of them. So it said, being entrepreneur is dope on the front, had that logo on the sleeve. But then me and Brandon started talking about it, and he was like, yo, that's dope. That could take off. He was like, that should probably be like a separate movement. I'm like, you know what? You're right. So we separated it, and here it is. I mean, everybody just likes it because it just says, like I said, being an entrepreneur is dope. So we have this shirt in a couple different colors. We don't offer too many colors, but I found that when you offer too many choices, then it just kind of goes left. So confusing. Yeah, too many choices. So we do have a few. I actually had a new color that I dropped last night accidentally because the printer messed up my order. So it wasn't supposed to be that color, but I got those on sale trying to get them out of here.
It is dope.
Yeah, but it's
definitely
cool.
Got to get one. It's definitely dope.
Yeah,
I like it. So for the young entrepreneurs looking at this, what's some tips you have for them?
That's
you like to give them?
Okay. One tip. Well, let's start with if you want to do something, just do it. Like don't worry about it. Even if you're scared, sometimes you just have to do it scared, because I'm not going to tell you that there's never any fear. I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to be nervous. You are. Like even now when I have to teach class, I've taught class 1,000 times, but I still get nervous when I have to teach shooters camp, because, you know, these people have paid their money. They're trusting me to teach them. And chest be tight, about to hyperventilate. I don't know why. But then I get on the call and I kill it and they love it. Yeah. And, you know, I always do a good job. So the biggest piece of advice I have for people is do it scared. You're never maybe going to get all the nerves out. There's always going to be some fear, because as an entrepreneur, you have to take risks, but do it anyway, because I'd rather, do it and it not work than don't do it and spend the rest of my life wondering, would it have worked? So yeah. I'd rather, you know what I mean? So I would definitely say, try it. Just try it, whatever you want to do. And then my thing is, if other people can do it, you can do it. If it has been done, it can be done, right? So if you've seen other people that have been able to quit their jobs and be successful entrepreneurs, you can do it too. And even if you're specific, if you have an idea, even if you have an idea for something that's never been done, like that particular industry, you got something new, innovative, do that, because somebody had to be the first. So it's nothing wrong with being first. I mean, look at Barack Obama. He was the first Black president. What if he would have been like, well, there's no other Black presidents before, so I'm not going to try it. You know, look at Vice President Harris, the first female, you know, in there. You feel what I'm saying? As the vice president. What if she would have said, well, I've never seen a woman do this, so I'm not going to try it. So it's okay. Sometimes you have to be the first one. So whether you've seen somebody do it before or whether you haven't, if it's something that you believe you can do, just do it. And you're going to make, and then another piece of advice I would tell people, you're going to make mistakes. So don't be scared to make mistakes. That's actually the best part, because that helps you to get better. So I always tell my students in Shooters Camp, I tell them when they come to the in-person part of the class, I literally tell them about some of the mistakes I made early on. So they don't just think, well, you're doing this and you never messed up. Oh, I definitely messed up. Shot a whole thing with no audio one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff happens. But, you know, it's cool. Like, welcome the mistakes so you can learn from them. So it's okay to make mistakes. I think that's a big thing that people don't realize. Like, people try so hard not to make mistakes, but that's a mistake in itself, is trying to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. And so one of my clients, actually, this guy named Derek Harper, he has this quote that he always says, and is done is better than perfect, because perfect never gets done. So done is better than perfect, because perfect never gets done. So if you're waiting for the perfect situation, the perfect conditions in life, the perfect amount of resources and money, it's never going to happen. You're never going to make a move. So just get it started and you can get it better. So, you know, you first start out, you start out, you don't have a logo, who cares? Get a logo later. You don't have a website, let's figure that out as we go. You got one camera. Like, when I started, I had one camera. Now I have 4. Like, it's just, you know, just grow and pivot as you go.
And I think that's one, I know for me, that's one of my biggest, that's me all the way. I never wait for nothing to be perfect. I like it rough at the beginning, because once you start it, now you got to finish it. You know what I mean? You can't, I think most people, they try not to, I think they talk themselves out of starting, because they don't want to, oh, this is not right. That's not right. I'd rather just start it and say, hey, now we have to figure it out as we go along. Oh, this didn't work? Okay, just make it better. Because there's nothing wrong with being bad in the beginning, as long as you end well. It's my opinion. So you're young. You're still a young lady. You see, I would say in the next 5 years, but I'm not going to ask you that question. Once you decide to slow down, what that look like? I don't want to say retire, but once you decide to slow down, what does that look like?
Shoot. Well, so my thing now is always, like I said, it's always work smarter, not harder. So even now, I'm not necessarily saying like retire or anything, but I'm definitely looking for passive income, you know, so that I can just be chilling and making money. I mean, because it's so cool when you can make money and you're doing something else. Like, even with my shirts and stuff, somebody placed an order, I'm out at a meeting or with a client or just at the mall hanging out or something, and I get that notification on my phone, somebody just placed the order. That's dope. Like, I'm literally making money. But I'm talking about more passive, like real estate, stuff like that. Even with our course with Shooters Camp, this is actually the last live class where we're teaching on those Zoom calls all the time, just because we understand the importance of growing your business, scaling your business, and making more money and doing less work is the goal. So that's where I'm trying to get, like, now. Like I said, we're making some changes to Shooters Camp to where we're not going to be teaching live. So we're not going to have those calls during the weeks, those 2 calls a week. So we're trying to scale that. And then even with the entrepreneurship is dope, I'm trying to get that to the point. We're running Facebook ads and stuff, but I really want to get that on, I don't really want to say autopilot, but kind of to where I'm not having to do as much with that either. So if we can grow it, then I'll have somebody else. Like, I actually package all these shirts myself. I fold them, I put them in this packaging. I worked at Foot Locker for a long time, so I know how to fold. So I do all that myself.
19 years.
Yeah, so I'm definitely was one of the best folders. They always were asking me to fold shirts in our store. But so I can do all that myself now, but I want to grow it to where other people are doing that, to where there's like a warehouse, and that's just being pumped out.
Right.
So I guess my biggest goal is just to have everything working without me doing as much work is the goal. Like, even now, like by the end of this year.
Making money while you sleep.
Yeah. And then another goal I have for this year, though, is I want to retire my mom. So I want to make enough extra money on a monthly basis so that I can pay her monthly bills so she can stop going to work. So that's like this year.
That's dope.
Yeah.
You could do that. That's dope.
Oh,
She'll love that too.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
she's already
that's
talking
dope.
about she's stressed out at
That's dope.
work, and I just want her to be able to enjoy life. Like I said, she'll be 60 this year. Now, if you see her, you also won't think she's 60. People always say you don't look 40, your mom doesn't look 60. I don't know why you're having this
Right.
birthday party. This ain't right. Y'all lying. But she but she is 60 and she's been working for a long time. And so I do want to take her off the job because it's starting to stress her out now and stuff. So,
Okay. And she's still in North Carolina.
Yeah, she's in North Carolina. She works for UNC Healthcare. She does benefits over there, so she runs the whole benefits department. So they're working from home right now, of course, but yeah, so that's what she
Right.
does. So I mean, she makes good money, but
Okay.
it's the stress, and I think, and that's what I always tell my students too, even
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
entrepreneur, all money ain't good money. It's not worth it sometimes. Like
Nah.
in entrepreneur, like in that, if your job's stressing you out, you need to get up out of there. And with entrepreneurship, certain clients, like I talk to all my clients before I decide to work with them. I get on the phone with them. You're not going to be able to book me by just going on a site or something and book. You got to get on the phone with me because
Right.
if I don't feel the energy, I feel like you about to be annoying, bro.
You're not
I'm not
doing
even
it.
going to do it. Yeah,
Right.
I ain't gonna be able to
Right.
do it.
And that's the good thing about entrepreneurs. I think a lot of people think when entrepreneurship or any business owner, they think that you have to take all the money. And I think the reason why we do it is not so much for just the money, but the bigger part is the time. Because you get to control your own time. You get to control your own destiny and how you move and what you want to do and what you don't want to do. To me,
Exactly.
that's more important than money. Because money,
Yeah.
I think if you get up every morning, you think you're gonna make some money.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just a thing. You're just gonna make money if you just wake up. All you gotta do is wake up, and God give you that ability. If He wakes you up in the morning, you can figure out how to get some money. But it's your time and what you do with it. That's where the stress comes in, and that's where it becomes more agitating than anything. So tell everybody where they can find you on your social media handles.
All right, so I like to just keep it simple. So it is Pinique Singleton. If you go on Instagram, just Pinique Singleton, my first and last name. So that's PiniqueSingleton. And my Facebook is also Pinique Singleton. I'm more active on Instagram though. I like Instagram. So if you want to see what I'm doing any given day, just check out those Instagram stories. I try to keep those popping throughout the day. That behind the scenes, I know people like that. And then also Entrepreneurship is Dope is the Instagram for the shirts and the links in the bio. If you guys want to buy a shirt, we have hoodies and t-shirts. I'm about to put the t-shirts on sale. I don't know when y'all gonna see this actual podcast, but I'm about to put some shirts on sale today. So.
And the websites for the school.
Oh yeah, so for Shooters Camp, I forgot we do have a Instagram for Shooters Camp as well. But also when you go to my Instagram, I have a link tree in my bio. So when you go to my bio, you can click from there to go to Entrepreneurship is Dope website. You could also click from there to go to the Shooters Camp website. But if you want to go directly to Shooters Camp, it's shooterscamp.com. And then Entrepreneurship is entrepreneurshipisdope.com. And then for me, as far as videography, you just would schedule a consultation on my bio, and then we'll get on the phone if you want to book me. I don't use a website for my videography services.
Okay. And so for anyone interested in going to Shooters Camp, they just go to the website and they can log in there and so forth and so on, right?
Yep.
Now they don't have to be in Atlanta for that, right?
Correct. So yeah, because the majority of it, well, like I said, right now it was 6 weeks online, like through Zoom, and then they would come to Atlanta for the in-person part. But you definitely don't have to be in Atlanta. We have people from all over that have taken the class. I'm talking about California, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. I mean, I got somebody in there now. I think they in Ohio or something like that. Arizona. We got people from all over.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put your websites on the interview so they can click on it or go to it. Okay. And see what you got going on. I do appreciate it, Miss Pinique. Thanks again for doing the interview. I enjoyed it. Anything else you want to say before we sign out?
I think that's it. I just want to say thank you for having me on the interview. I enjoyed it as well. I always like talking about stuff like this, so maybe it can help somebody else. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. I think that's it, though. I don't think I have anything else.
But thanks again. I'm gonna go order my t-shirt. Everybody go order your t-shirts and your hoodies. It's real dope. I was on the website earlier. I'm gonna have to get you to help me with some website. You just make mine look so bad. I'm not even gonna show it to you. But thanks again, Ms. Pinique. I appreciate it.
No doubt. Thank you.